Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back putting a positive spin on Halloween Ends. First and foremost, there will be spoilers in this video. You've been warned. This may be my most anticipated positive spin video, and it's probably Jason's as well. With the exception of maybe Jeepers Creepers Reborn, maybe, Halloween Ends has received more hate than any other horror film in recent memory. It is by far the most divisive of the Halloween films, and the IMDb score proves that. It has a 5.0. That's literally half the people rating it a 10, and the other half rating it a 1. Of course, as with everything else, the people who whine the loudest. Negative people just love getting a reaction, don't they? I'll never understand the people who actively want to share their hate or their negativity toward a film, or anything for that matter. It's one thing to not like something, fine, but to constantly go on and on and on about it seems like a mental illness. Why would you spend so much time and energy talking about something you claim to hate so much? Of course, that's why Jason and I came up with this positive spin series in the first place, to combat that negativity. So, in this video, I will tell you what I love, and I mean love, about Halloween Ends. It should come as no surprise now. If you know me, you know that I consider Halloween Ends to be a masterpiece. Nope, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking. I consider this to be a masterpiece. It's not only my favorite sequel in the Halloween franchise, it may one day become my favorite Halloween film. I'm serious. I love it. That may seem blasphemous to some of you, but hey, at least it's a positive opinion. I know I personally rather hear someone discuss their love for something rather than their hatred. But now, let me get into my positives. I will try to keep this as brief as can be. I'm not promising anything, though. I love that the opening text looks like the opening text of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Because technically, Halloween Ends is the third in this Blumhouse Halloween trilogy. It was baffling that so many people didn't understand that when this movie was released. There were people literally saying the text should be orange because it's a Halloween movie. Why is it blue? These same people proceeded to review the film as if they were experts on the franchise. Hard to take you seriously after that swing and a miss, guys. I love the opening music and the Halloween atmosphere in that opening scene. It's always great seeing trick-or-treaters in the Halloween films. And you know what? In some of them, we don't get enough of that. Even the original, John Carpenter's classic, has hardly any. In Halloween Ends, it actually feels like Halloween. I love the way it's shot when Corey arrives at the house. The close-ups on the faces. We then get that great scene that was featured in the trailer. It's Halloween. We're gonna have a good time tonight. It's going to become obvious pretty quickly, so I'll say this now. Corey Cunningham is my favorite character in the entire Halloween franchise. The next positive for me is the fact that Corey and Jeremy are watching John Carpenter's The Thing. This is a nice homage to the original Halloween, when they're watching the original The Thing. Then, obviously, we have the opening kill, which is brilliant. The first time I watched it, my jaw dropped. I think I even said, "Oh my God," out loud. I love the way it cuts from the reaction to the opening credits. After that, we have the flashbacks to the original with Laurie's voiceover. And guys, she explains it right there. The essence, the point of this movie. Were there that many people not paying attention? Did they just not get it? That's one of the things I always see about this film too. You have the people who hate it crapping all over it. And then you have the people who love it saying those who hate it just didn't understand it. Then you have the haters saying, no, that's not it at all. Of course I understand it. It's just crap. Or a dumpster fire, or whatever clever phrase they come up with that day. I've got to be honest, though. It truly does appear that those who hate it don't understand it. They can cry and moan all they want about the fact that they think they do, but they don't. I say that because when you actually get them to talk about specifics, they have no clue what they're talking about. Halloween Ends is a masterpiece. It just goes over some people's heads. And then you could say, well, that's not what I want in a slasher film, especially a slasher sequel. I want mindless entertainment. That's fine, but you've already got that in the other sequels, including the one that came before this, Halloween Kills. Instead of spending your time talking about how much you hate this one, spend that time watching one that you do like. But anyway, back to my positives. I love the inclusion of Oscar's mom wearing his cape. That was sad. A lot of people seem to miss the significance of that scene as well. And going back to the opening kill, I think it's brilliant that in the first movie we have a babysitter murderer, and now we have a babysitter murderer. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, well, it is what it is. I also think it's brilliant that Corey's character is developed to be partly the victim, like Laurie, and partly the villain, like Michael. He is both of those iconic characters in one, yet everyone hates him. In my opinion, and you can laugh all you want, I know Jason agrees because we literally discussed this. In fact, I think he brought it up. Rowan Campbell's performance as Corey Cunningham was Oscar-worthy. It's as if he plays multiple characters in the same film, purposefully. His growth, or should I say degradation, is phenomenal. Even his voice sounds different in scenes. More confident. It's also more carefree or careless. I really like Corey's family dynamic. His mom is a nutcase, and I like his stepdad. Ronald, you can see, is truly a good guy with the way he treats Corey. I like the focus on milk, but more specifically, the chocolate drink, Chocolate Soldier, that Corey drinks. If you don't think that's important, go look up the definition of Chocolate Soldier. Halloween Ends does a great job of making the bullies unlikable. We're not meant to like them, and we really don't, which results in us rooting for Corey, even when he's killing them. It's just a movie, guys. Just a movie. I don't condone violence. Halloween Ends features my favorite depiction of Laurie Strode. I gotta be honest. She's never been my favorite final girl. Don't get me wrong, I like her in the others, but this is my favorite Laurie. I really like her relationship with Frank in this, too. That scene at the grocery store is so nice. And I really do think some people don't understand the significance of Frank's character. Despite having less screen time in Halloween Ends, he's extremely important. Halloween Ends reveals there is a surprise survivor from Halloween Kills, so that was cool. One of my favorite things about Halloween Ends is the relationship between Allison and Corey. I don't care how twisted it is, I love them together. This is also my favorite version of Allison in the trilogy. She genuinely seems like she is head over heels in love with Corey. I just love how it comes across on screen. Their chemistry is impeccable. The scene at the diner is one of my favorites. I'll light the match. This comes full circle later, and also when they're on the motorcycle and the song Burn It Down is playing. I love the way those motorcycle scenes are shot. It's very surreal. I love Corey's scarecrow mask at the Halloween party at the bar, and I love the cameo by Nick Castle with the homage to the original Halloween. See anything you like? I love the concept of Corey feeling vulnerable without his mask, like Michael Myers. There is so much build-up to Corey's transformation, even little things. all leading up to him literally being pushed over the edge. I mean, literally. He gets tossed off a bridge. I also like the scene at the bar with Jeremy's father, telling the story about seeing Corey walking on the street. He talks about Corey's eyes, which then cuts to the next scene, when Dr. Mathis has the song Tell Me With Your Eyes play at his house. Soon after, we get that really cool sequence of Corey wearing the Scarecrow mask, killing Dr. Mathis in the darkness. I like how you can just barely see it. That sort of reminded me of the opening of Scream, when you can see Stephen Orth on the patio in the darkness. And then that's when you realize Corey has literally teamed up with Michael. As horror fans, don't you live vicariously through him? I mean, would you rather be against Michael or with him? This is something a lot of people wanted after the end of Halloween 4. They wanted Michael and Jamie to team up in Halloween 5. So what's the issue with Corey? Doesn't it make more sense? 9-year-old girl or 20-something-year-old guy? Yeah. Talk about toxic fandom. I mean, I don't even want to call it fandom anymore. Fandom is when you actually like something. Why are people so nitpicky with Halloween Ends? Why? But again, back to more positives. I love the way Corey sits up when he jumps off of the radio station. And I love the way he returns to the spot where his first kill happened. The same way Michael does in Halloween Kills. Speaking of kills, the kills in Halloween Ends are awesome. My favorite is probably the blowtorch kill, but I love the DJ's as well. His tongue flapping on the vinyl is amazing. And by the way, I like that Corey only seems to kill people who have it coming to them. We get a cool cameo from Diana Prince, Darcy the Mail Girl herself, in Halloween Ends. I really like that this is a love letter to John Carpenter. It pays homage to multiple films he directed. Obviously Halloween, The Thing, The Fog, and of course, Christine. I literally get the chills multiple times throughout the film. First, in that diner scene, I'll light the match. Next, when the Halloween theme hits in the kitchen scene with the flashbacks. And then at the very end, with that final shot and Don't Fear the Reaper starts playing. I really can't stand when people hate Halloween Ends and say they wish it had more Michael versus Laurie, as if we didn't have that enough already. How many friggin' times do we have to see the same thing? If you want to see Michael and Laurie battle it out, watch the original Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, and even the beginning of Resurrection. You can even take it a step further and watch Rob Zombie's remake and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 for a Laurie and Michael storyline. And wait, don't forget, there's also Halloween 2018. More Michael versus Laurie. So I'll ask again. How many times do you want the same thing over and over and over again? I think we get a pretty epic battle between Michael and Laurie at the end of Halloween Ends. I'm satisfied with it. And this is the last positive I'll mention for the movie. The fact that it does something different. They made a bold choice with Halloween Ends, and they committed to it. It took balls. They were prepared for the reaction they knew they were going to get, because they understand the toxic fandom. There's that word again. Fandom. Makes no sense. It's an interesting word for a group of people who like less than half the films in the franchise. What I hate even more is when the people who hate this movie claim that those who like it are not real Halloween fans. Let's get that straight. Because I like Halloween Ends, I'm not a true fan of the franchise. But those who like less than half the films in the series are the true fans? Wild. Like I said earlier, I question if it's a mental illness. Are people that self-centered? Apparently so. If I hate it, you must hate it too. Meanwhile, I'm not telling you you have to love Halloween Ends. I'm just telling you why I do. Like the rioters screaming, "Evil dies tonight" in the hospital scene in Halloween Kills, the sheep will follow the haters. Meanwhile, Halloween Ends didn't set out to tell the story that you wanted. It set out to tell the story it wanted to tell. I appreciate the fact that it stuck to its guns, and it did not cave to the toxic fandom. I should probably say this now, I am going to edit a lot out of this video, so by the time you see it, there will be so many positives I edit out, because it'll just be too long. I could praise this movie forever, because it really is a masterpiece to me. Unfortunately, I know most of you won't, and you don't have to agree. This is just my positive spin. Be sure to check out Jason's as well. To which hated movie will we next give a positive spin? Check back soon to find out. Until then, what are your thoughts on Halloween Ends? Do you hate it? If so, comment below and let me know why. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and, be kind, subscribe.